Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to Lego Indiana Jones 2. The adventure continues. So we've opened up the full map, and that's nice. Am I supposed to break these? Yeah, I guess I am. Let's continue the story here. There can't be too much more of the story that's gonna happen here. Are they gonna find like a cave behind the waterfall? Hey, we're deeply in the sections of the movie that I don't recall actually happening, but because I don't remember the waterfall section at all. I think it only happened for like 2 or 3 minutes. And see, they're getting followed by the people protecting the temple, which I don't, there's like no explanation at all why these people like protect this temple, or what crazy thought or religion sprouted out from the Crystal Skull. And this is, I suppose supposed to be the like El Dorado Golden City myth, but the city isn't actually. This guy has a fake nose and glasses, and these steps are shooting things at me. I don't know if they're actually doing anything, but they're shooting things at me. And see, I don't know. We're seeing some of the booby traps and things. I don't know how you would spin that. Like, so there's something more, I would guess, she has to do. That's an interesting switch. Skeleton. Ah, this is kind of like a slot machine. Not made with Lego, though. Taking damage in this doesn't matter at all. It's like, I have to argue that they named the movie completely wrong. Why didn't they just call it the City of Gold? Indiana Jones and the City of Gold, and get to that point. I guess that's too much of a spoiler. But see, you could get kind of symbolic about it too. If the City of Gold, do a whole speech at the end where Indy marries Marion and realizes Mutt exists and meets his son, and so the City of Gold isn't actually a place, it's a mindset of I've found my City of Gold, and it was as simple as a family thing, which doesn't really work for the Indiana Jones series as like a way to finish the entire series, because the Temple of Doom and the Ark Raiders of the Ark, neither one of those really had anything to do with family. You can say the Last Crusade definitely did involve reuniting with his father. There's almost a path here in which you can say Indiana Jones growing emotionally, but not really. You really can't do both stories, and they're trying to do both stories. They're trying to do the stories of a kind of immature action jock person that's kind of chasing the girls all the time, and chasing the ladies all the time, and also at the same time they wanted at the last second for it to be See, and we see the spinning blue gem. Is that a stud to collect? It doesn't seem like it. There's a very good argument to not call it the City of Gold, though, because that is a spoiler and it's not the main focus, and most of this movie is centered so much around the Crystal Skull. Way too much around the Crystal Skull, honestly. Let's see. I'm gonna have to do this first. Yep. Now I have to go back. See, we're doing all these things, and I don't know if any of these things actually even have anything to do with the fight, or if this isn't just a half-level, half-boss fight section. But we're left in the movie with no explanation at all as to why these people are doing it. We also have the issue of too many characters in the movie. So you have Marion, and you have Indiana Jones, and you have Mutt, and you have the crazy professor, the nutty professor, which is about the best I can say his name is, because I have no clue what his name is. And they only got this far just on random chance of being chased by the bad guys. There was nothing more to it than that. See, I've got the True Adventurer almost finished, and I'm throwing these spears at the guy, and it's not doing anything. Maybe I'm supposed to stand here and then have Marion spin the dial again. Ah. That should have been a little bit more obvious that you were going to use the dial twice instead of once. Like, I don't know how you fix that issue other than just not spin the dial twice. You have to, I suppose, have the platform there already, and then have her spin it to put it in on the right, and then have her, so I put in the right combination, have her spin it a second time once Indy's standing on it to put it on the left, and then have it spin it a third time, which she'll do right now. A little jump up here. I don't know why. I don't know why they made the floor uneven. Just to make the player jump. So he had something interesting to do. Let's see, we're doing all of this. And that starts the boulder rolling. Did this really happen in the movie? If it did, I totally don't remember any of it. I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen, because the idea of another boulder showing up would have been cool. But if the character got hit by a boulder, he wouldn't be alive, and unless there's some explanation as to why he would survive being crushed, like the Crystal Skull somehow gives him immortality, but he didn't even have the Crystal Skull until very recently. Does this land keep them alive? Are these people thousands of years old? And so you can clearly see a non-Lego train track, or track, maybe not for trains, getting used there. What am I supposed to do? Do we get one person busy and then punch the other person, or? Oh, you just gotta tie him up, I guess. Well, that didn't work. What are we doing? As the game is locking up, I have to go to the extras and let's see, we don't have anything unlocked, so it's not like I have invincibility, so he has invincibility. Hop out of this, Marion, and see, do you have any, like, abilities? No? And see, all that foreground stuff is... like, I am totally lost. Let's see, we're 11 minutes into this level. And unless I'm supposed to drag his butt over to getting stabbed or something, I didn't. This clearly feels like something that... Okay, I do have to actually drag his butt over there and get him stabbed. Alright. That's the only thing that works. He's got such a defense. Did any of this happen in the movie? Like... Come over there. Like... Did they even fight the guy in the movie? Crystal Skull's such a forgettable thing. I have it on Blu-ray. I still wouldn't bother to watch it to find out. This is probably a 100% made-up boss fight like the other two we've seen up to this point. I don't think anything like that happened. I don't even know if they saw a guy, I know, but I'm not even sure when they saw the guy, if anything like that occurred. The process is way smoother now that I think about it. That you don't have to see a final screen and watch it go through 5 screens of you collected all the treasures and all the golden chests and all the and you got true adventurer, so we'll give you some more studs for that. Just to immediately be back in the hub world and for it to say, okay, you did what we wanted, so here's what you earned. Looks like there's a little bit more stuff down this edge. How can I get down this edge? So I'll just jump in the water. So that wasn't the big boss fight. So there must be another big boss fight. See, there's a whole nother secret level over there, and then over here there's a shipwreck, which that has nothing to do with anything. Let's see. So instead of the crystal skull, what object? The borders here make no sense. What object would I consider more interesting for an Indiana Jones? Well, you would have done the Spear of Destiny. That's a big one. You could have done the Shroud of Turin and before it was debunked as something there that wasn't real. You could have done anything that was biblical in any short sense. You could just make up things like a basket Jesus touched, or you could have had Lazarus show up at some point too. You could try to go into any lesser known religious things like the Temple of Doom, and I think that would have been very fair if it was a tick-tock system where one movie goes with a Christian religious artifact and one movie goes with an Eastern religion artifact. There's plenty of things I imagine you could find as far as relating to either Buddhism, Hinduism, any of those other maybe even lesser known religions that aren't really even followed today. You could go back further, much further. You could have like the Minotaur. You could have Greek religion. You could have any of the pagan religions show up, and Nordic religion. Yeah, there could be the Eye of Odin. That would be more relatable and more recognizable than a crystal skull and aliens. It really does just come out of nowhere and relates to, and nobody can really relate to it except for people who believe in crystal skulls and alien conspiracies, which isn't enough to sell a movie on. We've been playing 17 minutes. I would go with like the Spear of Destiny. I would go with a golden Buddha statue. You could certainly have a movie where he's collecting several different things from several different religions. Maybe there's something hidden or encoded in multiple different religions. That would be an interesting twist if several artifacts work together as a key for some Atlantean style story. The Fate of Atlantis video game has a great story. Why not just make that movie? It's not like very many people would have remembered or cared. It would have been 100 times better than what this movie was, in my opinion. Yeah, I just don't understand the skeletons. Let's see. There is a certain time frame you have to put Indiana Jones in. It is in the middle of the World War II, so that doesn't change too much, but it would preclude anything being set in the future and too much. Only ropes can be cut with swords, and we don't have any swords. And then this needs to be destroyed with a bazooka, and we don't have a bazooka. Let's see, and if I was going to go with I don't want to go into this because that's just going to be a bonus level. If I was going to go with a Mayan, South American, Aztecian style religious thing. I I would do some more research. I wouldn't just make a crystal skull, because I seriously doubt that's a true belief of any society, that they were visited by aliens. Uh, I don't think that's historically accurate. Uh, you could certainly also do Native American, some kind of Native American mythology, if you could find an artifact that would work with a Native American thing. And I would think you would have to do something like just a simplistic arrow, bow and arrow or knife or something for a Native American artifact. Something that you would probably want to relate to, like the Trail of Tears or something. Or I think the Battle at Wounded Knee was a massacre of the Native Americans. So if there was some artifact that they were trying to get during the many atrocities that the United States government did against the Native Americans, then you could hide some artifact in that actual history and say, oh, in reality they were trying, the U.S. government was trying to get their hands on this, and the people that died nobly for a cause instead of just for imperial colonialization and expansion. You could do something in the Old West, certainly. Find some rock or something, but then you get right back to the same thing. If you're just making up an artifact, you might as well just be making up the crystal skull again. Unless there actually is a myth of some artifact, let's go through the real artifacts first. There's plenty of believed Christian artifacts out there. The Staff of Moses, which I think was broken and put in the Ark of the Covenant, but yeah, it wouldn't be too much to change that. But yeah, find some real archaeological myths and try to actually teach the people about some archaeological things. You could have definitely gone Egyptian. Plenty of sarcophaguses and mummies and ankhs, the crosses that are of Egyptian origin. That we see him find an ankh, I think, in one of the movies, but they don't make anything big about it. But yeah, I just have so many problems with the Crystal Skull as a decision that I could think of at least 20 better general outlines of a story than running around chasing a Crystal Skull and aliens. Anywho, that's going to be it for this recording. I stretched it out a lot. We have 5 remaining blue bricks, 2 remaining green bricks, and 1 remaining red brick. So when we finish this level, maybe the next level, we may actually be in the position where we can get all the collectibles and things. That's it for this recording, though. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.